So the steps that are inherently built within it, it's funny how a lot of people look past that. They'll try to do a technique to somebody rather than, as you're saying, to be more aware of what's available, to understand quickly, to create the conditions, to help support the conditions that exist, so your Wing Chun or your experience can flow out of that. Is that correct?
Right. But that's why I mentioned the big challenge for us, we are Westerners, right? Is even to when the Chinese pioneers came to West world, is how to make this adjustment, because of course the students expect to make exercise. They think Wing Chun is a physical activity. So when I go to doctor, the doctor asks me, you make any physical activity? I used to say, yeah, I play soccer, I go to the gym, weight lift, but never mention Wing Chun, because Wing Chun is not a physical activity. Include physical activity, but it's not the main point. That's the point. So if you want to really do some exercise, better go to the gym, better play another thing, But because a sport, Wing Chun is not a sport. Of course, we can treat Wing Chun as a sport. You can treat Wing Chun as a competitive sport. You can treat Wing Chun as anything. But when you talk about Wing Chun by its essence, is a Kung Fu system. And of course, we need the body to experience, like we start our talking, when we talk about experience, we need our body to experience, the kind of teaching, because otherwise you'll be just talking, so that's why your question is great, because by playing Wing Chun, we can really provide to our students this kind of new mentality. So then he can make better for more time by saving energy, and plus being themselves. Each student can be themselves when they play or express in this world what they want to do in society, in the very familiar relationship, with wife or kids or whatever, friends. So or even in work, because they don't, otherwise they are be some kind of avatar. They are play some persona which they are not. This is a very stressful, because they expect, like say, you do this if you are fire, you do certain things, or if you are doctor doing certain things, you are Kung Fu instructor doing certain things, but maybe you are not the guy to do that. You can be a firefighter doing something else than the people expect. Also, and more or less. So, but still very effective, So
I was going to ask you a question about that.
Kind of unique, because people can find the efficacy by doing their own way.
Yes, that's what I was going to ask you. There's people who have been training a lot, and a lot of people who are listening to this are going to say, I can relate to what you're saying, because I'm doing the system. I'm performing the system. I'm getting tested, but I don't feel confident in what I'm doing. But as you're describing, if I can build that awareness within myself, my confidence level creates that avenue to get better. But it's a different kind of confidence. It's a personal, very personal confidence. Is that correct?
Right. That's the key point. Not because someone told me I'm good. I am good. I just feel I am able to fulfill that job. That's it. Or the task. So one thing interesting in Kung Fu is, as I mentioned before, you can just learn, but not be taught, right? So I learned, but there is another detail very important in Kung Fu. You don't know when you learn something. You don't notice it. But how you know you learned certain lesson? Because when you need it, the thing come out by itself. Then you say, wow, I didn't know I know that. You know, and I didn't know I could do that, but you did naturally. So this is a very specific thing about Kung Fu. So Patriarca Moy Yat always mentioned this to us, you know. So trust in your body. Don't depend on technique. Because when you need it, don't worry, come out by itself. Sounds like a magic, sound like a, I don't know what to call this, you know, for us, you know, because we don't, we think, oh, we must training hard, very hard, you know, every day, you know, no pain, no gain. Otherwise, this will never happen, you know. But maybe there are many other ways to do that, to achieve excellence, you know. That's a one way to achieve excellence. And that's why when I mentioned Sao Pole, Sao means obey, means for keep the tradition, keep what they're doing, because sometimes it's important in the beginning, really repeat, or receive their knowledge by the way someone told you or show you or share with you or provide to you. But after that, you start to build up your own Kung Fu. You know, so that's why Sao Pole is important. For example, when my Kung Fu uncle, Bruce Lee, mentioned, you express yourself by doing your own thing or so on, you know, and the problem is you must be free of any movement. Yes, that's true. But for example, even Jeet Kune Do, we need to start of certain tools, right? How to punch, how to kick. What kind of kick, punch or kick I can use it. So in this moment can be any martial arts. So that's sometimes I see great martial artists like Danny Inosanto use a Philippine martial arts to be the foundation for then in the near future he can free themselves of this basic movement and achieve their own Jikido.
Now,
Right, their own expression.
let me
So,
ask
but
you.
this happened in Wing Chun too.
I was going to say, because you see, there's two things you mentioned there. The Western culture finds it very difficult to break free from the standards put in place because it's a Western view, as you said. But then to break free requires you to do so. You have to break free. In order to do that, you have to have more confidence in yourself than you do in the system.
Right.
How does somebody understand that for themselves?
That's why the system, a good system, must be already prepared to let the student be free. You know, like the Patriarca Moy Yat said, Kung Fu without system is not Kung Fu. Kung Fu that depends on a system is not good Kung Fu. Because to be good Kung Fu, in other words, you really express yourself in a certain moment, you need not depend on the system. So that's why you have the lay phase, Sao Pole. Lay means separate, to separate. So now you're free. I mean, no free in a sense of we used to say, you know, free in a sense to don't be attached in certain movements which don't belong to your nature. I don't want to be totally free. You know, I don't want to be free of you. I want to have a relationship with you. I want to co-depend, interdepend. You know, I mean, relate with the others because I'm a human being. Human being need somebody else to be themselves, you know. I can be isolated and be a kind of island and do my own thing just because I'm free. No, I want to be attached, but this kind of attachment must be very helpful. No kind of sick attachment, you know. And that's why the phase of the middle, which po, and po means break, you know. So that is important because I have to have a process to break progressively myself, I mean the system, to be myself free, to be myself in a way to express my kung fu. So that's a great and important point, you know, when you have a system. So most of the systems force you, depends on it. But a good kung fu system, they what you can call de-structure by itself, you know, like when you play Pachamto. So that's why Pachamto is the last domain of our system, because you cut, you know, they cut the relationship of the system. It's a very symbolic weapon. It's not just, I mean, practical weapon. I doubt if you know, we use Pachamto to self-defense. I don't never carry Pachamto to defend myself, right? But Pachamto, more than just a weapon, is a tool, is an instrument, is a device to making us understand all this kind of thing until we achieve our own kung fu. So that's why if you see, Pachamto domain is not so well structured. So, I mean, even many people play different ways, the sequence, you know, and so on, because this is the last domain. But don't get me wrong, because people say, oh, this is, I can do whatever I want. No, not yet. Because you have a lot of things to learn when you play Pachamto. A lot. You know, in order to you achieve your own kung fu.
Do you find that that's the place most players get stuck?
Yeah. Or even before, when you start to play Kwang, or even start to play, because see, Kwang is everything opposite what you used to do before, right? Because now you spend decades to play Wing Tsun like this. Now you use sideways, you know. Before you play, you know, I mean, you're in front your adversary. Now you play sideways. You use all the time short bridge. Now you use long bridge. You always stand up and a tall way. Now is a low way, right? Highway, low way. Now the knee, before the knee is inward. Now is outward. Everything is opposite. Because in order to have a complete system, you must experience both sides, you know, not just one side. So of course, Wing Tsun in the South stage is have a very specific way to play. But when you go to the Po stage, you have to do most of things almost opposite. See, that's the way you play. So that's why many people said, oh, Luk Ting Pung Kwan come out from other system, because there's nothing to do with Wing Tsun. You know, because Wing Tsun is a kind of, no, actually, because maybe they don't understand the nature of Kung Fu system. Kung Fu system, like the same sinologists, Professor Julian mentioned, they have is a variation system. So they have all kind of things, you know, not just one way, otherwise became a method. I need to have everything included. Otherwise, it won't be complete.